don't have the stigma or bravado attached to them, so they're more willing to listen to direction. They're easier on equipment, so there's less equipment breakage, and they tend to get along better.
Women sometimes tend to solve problems and looking at a problem a different way, come up with solutions that may not have been thought of if, in a more traditional sense, if you look at the male-dominated technical industry that we're in.
They got attitude, they got respect. I mean, a good attitude. Mm-hmm. You got respect. They don't whine for every little things. They just do it. If something's got to be picked up, they pick it up. They know the job. They'll learn it quick. Sometimes some employees will do the work. Great workers. But once they go home, they seem to forget there's consequences if it's not done right. A woman will work and say, well, if we don't do it right, it's going to leak. If it leaks, it's going to cause a problem. This is what can happen.
You know, some of the main comments I hear is that, you know, the attention to the fine details, I guess, is something that, you know, a trait that is fairly natural, I guess, in women, and it's definitely something that, you know, is obviously very important in the aerospace industry. So, you know, from that perspective, you know, it's a pretty good fit.
Women are used to being the organizers and the planners at home, and they tend to have great leadership capabilities, and they pre-plan, they think ahead. They're open to new ideas and suggestions, and most of them are willing to learn.
We've had a lot of good, positive things having women here.
Every time a Trade Horizons person applies to the college, every time they go through our program, it's one more individual out into the workforce. It may be women who don't get connected to Trade Horizons but are benefiting from the pathways being paid by HERizons and creating awareness that the trades are a viable industry for an occupation for women.
Trade Horizon has helped the women to come into the industry. It kind of shows them that it's okay. We're going outside the box. And I think your program is one way to help these us as employers and employees. How do you deal with women coming in the industry, especially an industry like ours that's been men for years?
Most gals that Trade Horizons bring to me seem to love the experience, not just carpentry specifically, but if it's welding or plumbing or whatever it happens to be. And more often than not, my experience is these gals say, wow, that was a great experience. I'm really glad to have been exposed to that. It's really opened my eyes. And my fear without Trade Horizons is that these gals would never have an avenue to find me or to find any other trades programs. So I think they're an integral part in making this transition to backfill the vacuum that's coming and to give these gals a fighting chance of a career that they would be proud of.
It encourages women to go into the technical course. It encourages employers to look at women as a source of employment in their business, and not just to stick with the traditional male and technical field, and to look at the women's skills, that what they can provide to them or for them.
Trade Horizons is a valuable asset, and you know, we would hope that there's going to be, you know, a continuation of the program in whatever iteration it may take. Mm-hmm. If it were unfortunately to go by the wayside, then I think there would be, you know, some adverse effect to how women might find their way to our doorsteps. They've been great proponents of the college. They've been great proponents of trades as a career choice for women, and without that sort of advocacy from Trade Horizons, it may be a little more difficult for women to come across the trade. When people start, you know, putting tool belts on and picking up their welding torches, we want to be making sure that we have a trained workforce, and that trained workforce, again, it's got to include women. There's just no way. It's such a huge demand, and without being able to quantify what that huge demand is, just intuitively know it's going to be a large demand here, and so women should be a part of satisfying that demand. Okay. And then